Hi everyone, this time I'm going to share with you the top 3 Russian battle groups that I play the mostly and that I think are currently the best. Before we start with that, a little note on how to build a proper Russian battle group. You either want to use or you want to combine the guards with VDV, Motorized or Coastal, or you want to do the same for a Mechanized. So combine it with VDV, Motorized or Coastal. You never want to combine guards with Mechanized because these two specs are good at the same thing, therefore they don't provide much additional value when you combine them. Let me quickly show you. As you can see, you have no helicopters and very limited air. You have strong AA artillery as well, it's kinda good. You have absolutely strong armor and infantry, and also infantry fighting vehicles, but you are very slow, and even though your units can pack a huge punch, you will struggle. You will struggle during the opening because you don't have anything fast, and your opponent will take the good positions, so you have to fight for those constantly. And you also struggle during the game because you will have a hard time replacing and resupplying your units. Okay, we got that away. By the way, you also can combine VDV with Motorized or VDV with Coastal. Those usually are for purpose of nuking the enemy, as you have a lot of points in the aircraft, but that's not the usual way how I play. I don't really like nukes, and let's start with the best Russian deck that I consider to be VDV. So this battle group is excellent in almost every way. Let's quickly go through all the units that I consider to be essential, and then I can quickly talk about how I use this deck in a game. So in Recon we have Orion for drone spotting, VDV Sniper in the base suppressed version with capability to lace. You don't want them to fight, they don't do much of the damage, but they can be very good at hiding. You have VDV Specnaz with thermobaric launcher, VDV ROSVK, and PRM3K with 30 mil. Why haven't I brought 57? It's because you will lose some of the recon capability, while you will have 2K spotting range with 30 mil. And I think you also lose the lasing. Yeah, you lose the lasing capability. PTRD is good to bring with AGS-30, which is decent grenade launcher. It can surprisingly provide excellent fire support. In the infantry variant, we have the VDV Cornet M. This is the one that fires 2 missiles because you have 2 launchers, but you have stop in order to fire. You have Verbas, which is the longest range manpad in a game. VDV Dysh, Vazmotostroki, and Shturmoviki. We also have the Skrzets, which can provide good anti-helo, but from the close, and also very good fire support ability, but it's very fragile, so be careful. BMD4 is something that can be very good at offense, because when you're attacking, you can fire these missiles on the move. And then I also have additional B15 Kurganets. It's the one with the highest upgrade. I call it the Bradley killer. It can easily kill Bradley AMPVs because it has APS, but also a lot of missiles, so you can easily get through the enemy APS. And if that's not enough, you also have 57 mil. Don't go close to the infantry because your armor is not very strong. You will struggle even against 84. In the vehicle tab, we have P90M Arena. I don't really like Armata, it's too expensive for what it brings, and it dies to airstrikes and clusters as easily as every other tank. Then we have the BMPT Terminators. I highly recommend using them in couples. It has decent frontal armor, cannot be pierced by Booker, so it's good to use against Bookers, but you have to have the attackers. If you run out of attackers, you can't really damage the Booker. But of course, you're not using it primarily against Bookers, you are using it primarily against other infantry or vehicles. D15 Barbaris, I recommend to use this base version. I don't recommend using Kinjal, it's just too expensive. The 57 will not pierce Abrams or anything that is in the same price range. And you got only 2 attackers, which means you can't kill really anything because one will be eaten by either APS or smoke, and the second might do some damage, but that's all. While if you use the Barbaris for 250 points, you have 4 Cornet M's. And 30 mil is good enough to deal with enemy infantry or lighter vehicles. And then we have T80UM Drost. This is the one with the APS. For 250 points, you got a decent tank that is very effective when you are dealing with striker RVs or some of those very annoying backline or in frontline enemy vehicles that are lobbing javelins or ATGMs at you. You will not be very effective against tanks because it has very low piercing, but you don't want to use these tanks against enemy tanks. You want to use it against vehicles and against enemy infantry. Also, good variant might be T90A, but it doesn't has any APS, and the jammer is not really using it's not really helping. When we go to support, as first we have this. I think this is the most cost efficient unit in the entire game, because for 150 points you have 4 missiles that can one-shot the planes if you roll a hit, not a near miss, because in that case you only do partial damage, but you can shut down one plane and you already got the value back from that. I recommend to use them in couples and bring them closer to the front. You don't even have to turn on the radar. The 3 kilometers is enough to shoot down F-35s or F-16 Vipers that are going after your tanks or ground units. Yes, you will not be able to prevent enemy from dropping the payload, but you will be able to avenge the fallen units or avenge the attempt of the enemy to kill some of your units from air. So, yeah. Then we have a Tor M1, the base version with 8 missiles. I think it's enough. You don't need to spend another 50 points for double of that. The range is excellent. When you turn on the radar, you can snipe enemy choppers. It's very good. You can also use it against enemy cruise missiles. One note: you will not be able to use much of it against cruise missiles because you are not turning on the radar very often here, and you are very you will be damaged by the seat. So your best defense against cruise missiles is movement. Then we have Koalitia with extended range. With that, you can shoot at enemy positions behind enemy lines that are lighted up by your recon squad. The MTSM is just for supplies. Hamas is a vehicle that will be delivering the infantry, which I will explain later. We also have Buratino. It's the basic variant. It's not TOS 1A. Downside is the lower range, but you also have more rockets dealing the same amount of damage. I think just give it a chance, guys. It's not really that bad, and I think in some occasions it can be even better. And we have Drog for smoke. You will need a lot of smoke when assaulting enemy positions. In the Helo tab, we have Mi-28 with 8 Elmore missiles. These missiles can hit both infantry and vehicles. It's a top attack, it's terminal guidance, it's a perfect range, but be aware it's very expensive, so carefully. The alligator is used to deal with enemy choppers. 4 Iglas are usually enough, plus you have the S8 rockets, quite a lot of them, in order to provide some fire support. So if your enemy doesn't bring Shorat or forgets to bring it, or you kill the Shorat, bring one of these twos and you can light up enemy positions. It's very good against infantry and vehicles. And we have some Mi-8 for supplies and transport. And in the air we have 2 Su-35S, is the basic, most cheapest variant for long-range air combat. And then we have Su-34 with PAP 3000, 2 anti-radiation missiles, plus the ECM pods. With this build, it's extremely survivable. Just turn on anti-radiation missiles before you're going to drop the payload, so your missiles will help you survive. And when you drop the payload, go down and turn on the afterburners and go home. I mean, you should have the afterburners on before you are even dropping the bomb, but if you forgot, just turn it after you drop the bomb, so we can outrun enemy missiles. So how do I use this deck? First of all, your core gameplay is in these small squads of VDV, Specnaz, Razvedka, and Dush. Specnaz and Razvedka can be used together as one squad, because these guys are perfect at dealing with enemy infantry, and these guys are semi-good at dealing with infantry because they have increased damage on their rifles, and they also have VSS, but they also have this RPG-7. The range is not huge, but the piercing and damage is okay. And you can either use them as a couples, because this way you are not lacking any capability. You can deal with anything that comes. Bring them in PTRD, because that has exactly 10 seats. Or you can just load 2 Razvedskas with Bad VDV Specnaz, or even 3 Razvedskas alone into Skrejet, which also has 15 seats, so you can put 3 of these squads over there. You can also put 3 VDV, but I think that's not really needed, because these guys are usually not good by themselves. But triple VDV Razvedka can deal with enemy infantry and anything that's armored. I killed multiple Sebitris using the tactic of loading them into Skrejet, coming close, deploying smoke, and loading. And when they unload the RPG-7, the Sep can't react on time. The APS will not help much. Same dealing with Bookers or anything that dares to come very close to these guys. Another way how to use infantry in this deck, and that's on the same level on significance, is combining VDV with Sturmoviki. Why these guys? Because Sturmoviki have quite decent RPG-7 and overall good standoff capabilities. The RPG-7s are decent against infantry, can stun very quickly, but they can also drain enemy APS. They don't do much damage to the armored unit, but they will waste the APS very quickly. And VDV can use the RPG-7V to deal the real damage. I use these two in Kamas. Like I said, don't use Kamas for supplies, use it for transfer the troops. It's quite fast. You can put Sturmoviki and VDV into it because it has 14 seats, or you can put double Verba, I mean even triple Verba if you want, double Cornet, or double of these guys. So this Kamas VDV is excellent at deploying your infantry where you need it, but be careful to not come very close because it will die to anything. Only 10 HP and basically no armor. Then regarding vehicles, I basically already explained why I selected these units. Just to recap, these guys to deal with strikers that have javelins or Bradleys. these guys to deal with vehicles or tanks from afar. These guys are good at providing fire support, exterminating enemy infantry and lighter vehicles, but also, thanks to Ataka, are very good at killing armor. And they will, if you use them in a couples, they can easily go through the APS and kill the heaviest enemy tank. Don't go very head-on against enemy infantry. Use these vehicles as a support of your infantry that is going as a first. In support, use always the double buck and twos if you can. You can start with one, but quickly bring the second. If you lose one, use the other one that is in reserve. Keep them to have both close to the front line, but not exposed. I know that's easy to tell, but if you use two and keep them resupplied and always redirect when you fire, you have to remove to another place. Reposition, yeah, that's the correct word. Reposition. This can survive entire game and bring a lot of value for just 150 points. Most of the plays will be shut down if you do it correctly. Drog, use it for smoke lines, and everything else will basically explained. This is excellent at stopping pushes, but also providing sniping capabilities. But be aware of enemy shorets. These Ka-52 alligators might be good at the opening because you might face enemy heli drops, and these are quite tanky with 30 armor at 15 HP. So if you feel like you can use them, if enemy plane approaches, you have to click it. These Iglas can kill plane. I already did that, but you have to hit it more times. And yeah. And I basically explain how to use the Su-35 and Su-34. If you are pushing and you're struggling to get through some positions, just drop a huge BAP 3000 bomb and the path will be clear. Alright, that's all about Guards VDV. Let's go to the second strongest deck on the Russian side, and this battle group is Guards Moto. So, in the Guards Moto, you have very strong infantry in both recon and infantry section. Diversanti are quite good because not only are they very stealthy and provide laser designation capabilities, which are crucial in this battle group, but they also have quite significant anti-infantry capability. So if you manage to go into the bush and meet the enemy sniper in there, this squad is usually winning. Then we have the Specnus crew. Many people are asking me why I'm not using this multi-purpose variant with RPGs and Verbas. The answer is Verbas are quite useful, but the 3 RPGs are never enough. Why? Because first one is usually eaten by APS, second can be eaten by smoke or do some damage, and the third will probably get again eaten by APS or might not kill anything. So I'm using this one. You have 6 launchers, not only 6 missiles, but 6 launchers, which means that the unit is shooting very fast. And if you manage to ambush correctly, you can take out even the ZV-3. And if you use them in a couples, I know it's quite expensive, but if you do, then you can kill any armored tank that's coming, that's dared to come up too close to you. PRM-50K for fire support. Kozlik. Kozliks are extremely fast, and sometimes I use them early to meet the enemy where he doesn't want to meet me, or disrupt enemy supply lines. Corsar is for recon on the flank, and this PRP-5K is very good at spotting something that is far away. I either put it to the flank to monitor any Comanches that might come and ambush you, or you can even use it on front line, but I use mostly infantry front line, and this is used on the flank. In the infantry section we have the SSO. SSO have the Coordinate M. The range is excellent, and most of the players don't know how to distinguish between the Cornet ATGM and the anti-infantry. This one in the standoff version is anti-infantry. You can sometimes kill even some armored vehicles. You will not be able to kill a tank, but I think it's extremely good for the price. One of the best standoff units in the game. Cornet M. I decided to invest 20 points more to have this version for 90 points. It has the range of 1800, which is the most you can have on infantry ATGMs. Be aware that you have to use them in couples, because this shoots only one missile at a time, unlike the Cornet VDV, and the first missile will usually get eaten by APS, and the second as well, because there is long time between reload and firing. So use them in a couples so they can fire both at the same time and deal some significant damage. You can also use this variant if you want. Sturmoviki, same reason why the previous battle group are very good for the price. Very good RPG-7, and they can drain down the APS very quickly. Guardia Motostrelki are also excellent at dealing with enemy armor or holding the line. PTO Metis is usually for the holding of line, because they have the grenade launcher, they have the PKP machine gun, and they have the Metis. The range is not really good, neither the damage, but you have two of them, and they can deal some damage to not very armored vehicles, some lighter tanks or APCs. Verbas, best manpads in a game, longest range. Kurganets, already explained the previous battle group. The fully upgraded is very good dealing with Bradleys and AMPVs, basically a Bradley killer. The APS helps really well. The missiles, the missiles will get through the APS very quickly. In the vehicle tab, we have a lot less points than in the previous battle group, so we have slightly less vehicles. 90M Arena, E80U Drost. The difference is that Arena can go against enemy Abrams, Drost can't. The Drost has, the ADU and Drost has very low pen, so we use it against Javelins, RVs, or Strikers, or even Bookers. It's very good against Bookers. Bookers cannot pen the frontal armor. Same for the Terminator. Excellent fire support / ATGM carrier. And the 15 Barbaries. Like I said, don't use the upgraded version. For 100 points more, you don't get anything that would give you significant advantage. Use this one. This is the strongest support in the game, I believe, or maybe the second strongest, as you have quite a lot of points and a lot of units to select from. People love to go for the cruise missiles, or perhaps more of the Koalicja or Grad. I decided to build it along two S300s with upgrade, as those 300 meters do some difference. Also, IKM is excellent because it's very quick, but dies easily to even fart, so be careful. Tornado S. I think this is the unit that is very important because it has a guided rockets, and two of them can kill any target in a game, so you have to lace properly. You have also Cluster Grad. I don't recommend using Incendiary or high explosives. Smoke might be useful in some cases. I'm using Cluster because I don't use Grad to kill, I use it to disrupt enemy supplies and deal some damage. So when you see that your enemy is deploying supplies behind the line, or you are suspecting that someone is grouping up their units, you can fire randomly at some location. In 20 to 24 seconds, it will start firing the missiles, and supply depots don't need many hits to be destroyed. It doesn't have a lot of damage, but it can disrupt your enemy quite significantly. We also have TOS1 Buratino. So I was deciding whether to bring one more Gret or one more TOS, but then I realized that the purpose of the Gret can be also supplied by Tornado. So then I decided, okay, let's bring 2 Buratinos. I bring them too because you have to come close. It's usually a magnet. Whenever your enemy spot it, it's going to be bombed. So I bring it much closer, and when I lose it, I just call the second one. And then we have the excellent Urals for supplies and infantry. Helicopters, we don't have much. We have the multi-purpose Mi-20M with Iglas, Atakas, and also rockets. I think that's a very good price for what you're getting. And Mi-24K, which is a cheap recon / fire support helicopter. You don't have many points in the air, so I have to use very cheap planes. MiG-29 for denying some early chopper landing. Su-24 with cluster to kill any tank in a game. And Su-24MP with the anti-radiation missile, so whenever your friend comes up with option to nuke anyone and he asks for seed, you can bring this boy for cheap price. It can provide decent seed operation. How to use this deck? So as you can see, I don't have many units, many APCs in infantry selection. I have only these 4 P-15 Kurganets. I have no other transport carriers, no BTRs or BMOs or K-16s. Why? Because for the purpose of transporting of units, I am solely using Ural trucks. Why? Because all of your larger squads are 8-manned and the smaller squads are 4-mans. So this means that the size 16 and 24 are perfect for utilizing these two in order to transport the units, the infantry guys, to the front line. But don't go too close because they don't really survive many hits. And also, even if you get to the full capacity, you can still bring significant amount of supplies. So these Urals are excellent in both supplying and delivering infantry close to the front line. If you need to assault position, use P-15 Kurganets or T-15 Barbaris. Both can have one squad, one larger squad or 2 smaller squads inside of them. I think that kind of explains how to play this deck. So if you have any questions, just write in the comment section. Let's go to the third one, the third best in my opinion, and that's Mechanized VDV. Unlike Guards VDV, this Mechanized VDV has some significant changes, believe it or not. So let's go through the units first. So Orion, that's clear. Snipery suppressed for lasing, that's clear. This is a standoff variant of VDV Spetsnaz with RPG-16 launcher. These are the 700 RPGs. You might see that, okay, the penetration and damage is not that significant, but it can detract enemy tank as easily as better RPGs, believe me. And it can also lace the enemy targets. And then we have DuroSVK, like I said, very good at dealing with enemy armor, but also semi-decent against enemy infantry. In infantry tab, we have the Cornet M, we have Motostrelki Igla, we have some BMP-2Gs. BMP-2Gs are the variant which is up armored and have the grenade launcher, which turns it into small BMPT, but with paper armor. The Concourse is also quite good. I'm not using Berezok because the Cornet, it is much better than Concourse, but I don't use this vehicle for the purpose of ATGM spam, so that's why. And we have a Desantniki, Ognomechiki with Mroz Incendiary, VDV RPG-29 Vampire, and Engineer Sturmoviki with the flashbang and shotgun variant. In the vehicles, we have T72B3 Arena with the APS. Then we have the basic T72Bs, and we have a Chrysanthema. In support, we have S300, Tunguska M1. Some of you might ask why I'm using this one instead of Panzer. Panzer is just too expensive, in my opinion. Tunguska M1 does everything good enough. I don't think I need this variant for 50 points more. I don't using the base one because the base one, the missile cannot shoot down enemy ballistic, but M1 can. So, we have Malka, Tulpans, Duplo, Kamas, Drok for smoke. For Helitab, we have the beloved Mi-28 with Elmurs that can again target anything, also infantry and vehicles. Alligator for anti-helicopter and ground support purpose, and Mi-26 for heavy cargo. In the air, we have the Su-35S, which is the cheapest air superiority fighter you can have with long-range missiles. And we have Su-34 with FAB-3000 and double-seed missiles plus ECM pods, and Su-57 that can deal with enemy tanks from afar, but be aware that you will not kill Abrams in even if you hit it twice. You have to damage it before, or you have to go after some targets that are having less HP, such as Bookers. It's good to kill Bookers. So how do we use the Mechanized VDV? In this battle group, your core gameplay relies on three aspects. First is Desantniki plus Ognomechiki combo. Why? Desantniki are quite meaty squad, 10 men, 50 HP, and they have a higher armor. They are not really that perfect in any area, but I consider them as very good mid shield. And I just changed my mind recently. I despised these guys. I didn't thought they are really good, but in a purpose of using them as mid shields, that's very good. And they are basically shielding Ognomechiki. So if you use these two together, the Desantniki go first, they will be your tank, and the Ognomechiki will be the DPS. Together, for 130 points, they can kill Delta Force easily, or deal with RRC or Marines, anything. Just be careful, don't go with Ognomechiki first, they will die very easily. And also, as soon as Ognomechiki run out of these incendiary rockets, they become useless, so have some resupply nearby. You can also use a lot of the triple Razvitka in Skrejet. Like I explained in VDV Guards, these guys are semi-decent against infantry and extremely good against tanks if you use them as a triple squad. You can use them as triple squad because they are 15 together, as Skrejet has 15 slots. Alternatively, you can bring RPG-29 with BMP-2 or Engineer Sturmoviki also in BMP-2. Some of you are asking why I'm not using thermobaric rockets. I think they are quite, don't get me wrong, they are good, but I just love using shotguns and flashbang more, so I have something for the CQC, because these are not going to win the CQC fight. And secondly, I already have Ognomechiki for some kind of thermobaric launcher, so that's why I'm using the shield. So you're basically spamming the Desantniki, Ognomechiki and VDV Razvitka VDV, Specnas, and Sniper you are using as a standoff. Specnas can be also used to fight. These sniper rifles can deal some very good damage, and RPG-16 can hit enemy vehicles from afar. You are also spamming T-72Bs. If you want to spam them even harder, you can go with this variant for 145, but I think that 5 points for one missile is quite a good investment because it gives you capability to snipe some units. Use T-72 arena in case you need to deal with some javelins or stuff, but if you smoke properly, you shouldn't have an issue. Use Kamas to deliver these two guys, because Kamas has exactly 14 slots, which is needed. Or you can also use Skrejet, it has 15 and you can fit them both in. Duplo is used most for supplies, and Tulpans are excellent at killing enemy tanks. It has 4 missiles that can be laced, or 16 missiles that are not laceable. Those 4 missiles that are navigated by laser, if they land on top of the armor, it kills it in 2 shots. So we can 1-shot light vehicle or 2-shot anything else. Malkas cannot use laced ammunition, but guided ammunition, but in case you want something for longer range, this is quite good. And I think I kind of already explained the rest of the deck, so if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and I'll be soon preparing and releasing the same guide for top 3 American decks that I use. So we keep in touch, and talk to you later. Bye!